Welcome to the I Ching Cafe, and of course I'm Belinda Doveston, and it's great to have you with me again today as we look at this new week commencing Monday the 18th of November 2019, what we should pay attention to. Last week was quite a hectic week with darkening of the light and pressure and being undercover and focusing on escaping and wearing the disguise. So please share below in the comments, either on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, of course in this video or in the podcast version, to go and have a look at sharing what did you learn about this week of going undercover. Was it difficult? How did it help you? So let's share that. So let's get into this week. All right, only 3 changing lines this week, so a little bit less of a change flow than last week, but still a lot to do. We have Hexagram 51 shock as the main hexagram for this week. We've had 51 shock locked before. I'd encourage you to go back and have a look for it. The title of the video is Don't Drop the Egg. And of course, this is exactly what this week is about. Unexpected, surprising turns of events, sudden events, both positive and negative, that can cause us to drop our focus on what's important. We are carrying a precious egg on a spoon, and our task is to care for this egg, whether it's our customers, our business, our personal lives, a goal, a project, our purpose, to carry this egg safely to the next stage. All right. And this week, as the lightning bolts might be hitting us, or hitting around us rather, we must not drop the egg. That is our task. So this is a week of surprising, unexpected developments. And usually with something that's shocking, initially you go, oh, there's this terror and fear, and suddenly there's afterwards a relief of like, oh, that was all right. Wow, that was amazing. Because sometimes when we have positive shocks, the suddenly turnaround, the quick electrifying shock that comes to us initially goes, and then goes, okay. So you might find that you are having to just stay calm and not drop the egg as we go through these tumultuous experiences of the week. Think of what happens when thunder is crashing outside, because of course 51 shock is a doubling of thunder. It's double thunder. It draws us to it. We watch the electric and we wait for the thunder boom and we count out how long there is between. We're mesmerized by it, and it rips open the sky. And you're like, whoa, that's amazing, like watching a fireworks display. So that's the kind of energy of unexpected developments. And there are 3 changing lines, so there's quite a lot for us to pay attention to this week related to shock. So let's get into it. First up, we have position 2 is our first changing line. And this talks about grieving over something of the past, a sense that we have lost something. The I Ching says that what is truly yours will return, and they talk about returning within 7 days. There's a cycle of time of something returning or coming back in. But there's a sense of having lost something and a feeling of loss. And the challenge is that we can get quite caught up in grieving the loss, grieving the past, grieving what has left us. And our task for this week is to just let it go. Focus on the future. You cannot grieve or be sad about this. Just let it go. What is yours will come back. Maybe this means losing a big client. For me, I recently lost 18 months of emails. It wasn't in a shock week, but it's that kind of thing of like, okay, they're gone. 18 months of client data is gone. So you just have to move forward and work out what's important to ask for copies of. So it's that kind of thing, or something's left us. Maybe that's a part of the business. Maybe that's a project. Something's been put down. Something is old and died, and we need to move on. And our task is not to grieve over it. So number 1, as we head into the week, be conscious of what you are regretting, what you're thinking about. Where's your mind going? Is it locked in a past? Is it locked in? You really need to let go of it now and move on. Our next changing line in the 4th position talks about being shocked in the bog. What does this mean? And so it literally is stuck in a bog, stuck in mud. And the shock comes to help liberate you out of this mud. The way to do that is as the shock comes and says, I show you the way, I show you what's new, I show you where the door is opening finally, you go for it and you follow that energy, and that gets you out of the bog. So wherever you feel bogged down or stuck, when the shock hits, say, right, finally, I've got my way out of this bog, but follow it. You've got to put the work in to see the door opening and to follow that. Okay, and it might push us out of our comfort zones. Or let me rephrase that. It will push us out of our comfort zones. And then, third piece of shock is in the 5th position. The last changing line for this week. In the 5th position says, there are things that come at us from the past. Angry ghosts is how the I Ching talks about it. Things of the past, things that come up, things that are potentially going to distract us from what we need to do. And the way we focus on it is we focus on purpose. Where are we going? What's important? What is our vision? Focus on that and keep going. So really interesting this week that it's all about letting go of something. It's about recognizing that we need to move forward and that we need to have our eyes set on where we need to go. All 3 changing lines speak to that from 3 different perspectives. And so despite the shocks, we have to hold on to the egg, protect the sacred egg, and stay focused on moving forward. That is all we need to do. The outcome for the week, the second or relating hexagram, is hexagram 60, limitation. We have had this one a couple of times, and it's really about putting in place limits on what you can do, quarterize things, put things into timing, pace things out, have lists, tick lists. It's about limiting what you do and not overdoing it. So in this week, we both have the shock, this whole shake up that happens, and we have specific things that the changing lines bring to us. Letting go of the past, not grieving, getting out of the bog, putting to bed the angry ghosts of the past, and of course doing that within the boundaries of limitation, not overflowing and overdoing what is necessary. So a lot for us to do this week, but you know what? You've got the I Ching at your back. You've got this information. And as you're going through the challenges of the week, as those lightning bolts might be striking, I ask that your mind goes back to what I've spoken about, what the I Ching has shared with us, and go back and say, you know what? I have a choice to make. I can choose the lower path and get lost in the drama, or I can choose the path of the master. And that means choosing the higher road, choosing the superior person path, as the I Ching talks about, and growing into the pressure, growing into the state of change that we are in. This week, we have to deal with shock. We have to deal with a whole pile of issues come at us. How we deal with it, how we don't drop the egg, that's the path of mastery, and how we then move forward and focus on where we're going by putting in place limitations and marking off time and managing ourselves appropriately. We've got this information, we can work with it. That is the blessing. Whether it's in your personal life, your business life, whatever sphere of life this may play out for you, go work with it, go and apply it, and let's see what happens for you at the end of this week. And of course, if you have not yet done so, go and check out November's overview to have a look at focus, 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 which is the theme of November that we need to pay attention to. See you on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for our daily stories and conversations around I Ching, change, agility, clarity, mastery, and more. Thanks so much, and see you soon.